We have, the auditor is somebody that I meet with regularly, that when was first appointed, I think many people were a little concerned with, that he's done a great job in his role as auditor, and only works well with me. I don't, so I don't know where, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the other departments. The IT department, I view that department as if something doesn't break down, it's working, so I don't go there too much.
DPW, police.
Oh,
fire.
DPW, okay. Department of Public Works, I'm on the phone all the time saying, clean this, clean that, get this pothole. I don't like to see weeds growing. I don't like to see, and you could do that in any city. I do that. I pick up trash when I'm out walking around. I don't walk by it. I'll go on Newport Ave where it's windswept, and I'll run across the street from Job Lot, and I'll pick up that stretch of roadway that has trash on it. And if I see something, I don't hesitate to get on the phone and call the Department of Public Works or the Park Department and insist that this happen. I was walking the dog yesterday. Thank you for reminding me. The Park Commission is going to get a call after I leave here, because I called him about an illegal dumping 2 months ago in Faxon Park, and it hasn't been picked up yet. So yes, that I think, but that I don't see as nitpicking. I see that as being helpful, because I think they all want to do the job, and it's a big city, and there are areas that you might not see but for the fact that you're out there looking. I think that the police department, the fire department, I try to be supportive, and our relationship hasn't been the best from the very beginning, but I kind of don't know really. I have great friends who are firemen, and I get along quite well with them. We're fixing stations, we're buying fire engines, and to the extent that I can see, very supportive, to the point that if you compare us, our expenditures are probably higher. So in the police department, I think that no, I don't get involved with appointments to positions within the police department. That's a change. In fact, other mayors, I think, would get involved in who is a community police officer, or who gets appointed. Oh, with one exception, excuse me. I insisted that Mr. Brandolini, Officer Brandolini, come back to Quincy Center, most recently. He does such a great job in Quincy Center, and you can see it, and he was outbid by one of the union officers. And I'm not suggesting that the other person doesn't do a good job, he's just not Officer Brandolini. So I pleaded with the chief, please bring this guy back. Assign him to me as a rider. Everybody else had a driver as a mayor. You can say he's my driver, and you can just let him be up at the Quincy Center, because I saw, I'm out at Quincy Center, and I saw a slow deterioration in what I was seeing in the folks that were hanging around and things at Quincy Center. And so now we have both people up there. So to that extent, I'm hands-on. I feel responsible.
Why did you get involved in the O'Grady matter?
I had to. It was my role. It was placed on my desk for decision. I couldn't avoid it.
So that wasn't a decision for the chief?
No. No. If anything over 5-day, I think. Don't quote me on this, but there's a process that wound up on my desk, and that was my.
Would you have done it differently?
If I had to do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough question. I knew somebody was going to ask that question today. I knew somebody was going to ask that question. I guess.
Then you figured it would have been me.
Yeah, that's a tough question, and somebody is an employee of the city of Quincy right now, So I'm gonna refuse to answer that question respectfully. And I'm hopeful that the decision that I did make will,
Then
I won't be,
Are you confident then in your first decision?
I have, it's a decision that I made and I'm living with, and I can't change, even if I wanted to, and I'm not suggesting I would. But it's a decision that I made. Time will tell. But there's an employee working for the city of Quincy, so I don't feel quite right going beyond that. And then in a bigger spectrum, of course there's and it's not that I have a hard time thinking of things, or maybe it is, and I just don't see it, Jazzy. There are daily things that somebody asked me last time, what would you change if you could? I'd change everything. Every single thing I'd change in some way to make it better. We all can. What I try to do is, when I'm faced with a decision to make, I try to question everybody as extensively as I possibly can to get all the information I can in my own style. And sometimes people don't, appreciate that style. And I can understand that, I really can. But if they can't hold up to the questioning, then my feeling is their opinions maybe aren't quite as strong as what they originally thought. So then I make my decision. And those decisions you have to live with. If you can change your mind, you change your mind. If you make a mistake, you acknowledge it, and you try to move in a different direction.
Have you made any mistakes?
Oh, of course I have. I've made mistakes, like everybody has made mistakes. Now you're going to ask me where I've made mistakes.
I didn't ask you that.
No, you're going to ask yourself.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring them up.
Well, I wouldn't presume to say what was a mistake and what wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Listen, enough with the soul searching.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Economic,
I look at where we were as a city, where we've come, in our future, and I see great things.
Well,
I see collaborations where other people say
Let's talk about the
there's.
future, though, specifically.
Well, can I just address one question, and one issue? This issue. I've stood up in specific times when I felt like I've had no other chance but to stand up. I had a college president who was ignoring me completely. I'd call and call him. He'd have a meeting and then disappear for months. I had to stand up and take a public stand. I had no choice. At high school, I had no choice to take a public stand. But we've built collaborations with Corey, with Quincy Environmental Network, with our state delegation, with our federal delegation, with our business community, our 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in the South Shore Chamber of Commerce, the building trades in the Germantown Neighborhood Center that we were able to construct. And I personally called the Archdiocese and worked out that agreement after they refused to allow Man at Health to go in there, and convince them that, we'll do it, in a way that we won't embarrass the church. You're the owners, you can do what we've gone around the city and built great relationships with neighborhoods in our Neighborhood First initiative. Maybe certain groups don't feel as, involved, but we're really building some great relationships, and I don't know, so.